If you love tech secrets, meet the story more explosive than Silicon Valley. For decades, we have been told that the future of technology, the birthplace of innovation, and the heart of the digital revolution lives in one place, and one place only, a strip of land in Northern California, known around the world as Silicon Valley. But what if that was only part of the truth? What if while America celebrates its legends like Apple, Google, Tesla, and Facebook, the real story of who will control the future is unfolding in places far beyond the West Coast? What if the next big revolution in energy, artificial intelligence, and industry is already happening somewhere else, and what comes next could determine whether America remains the leader or becomes the follower? And here is the question that should keep you watching until the very end. If Silicon Valley is no longer the center of gravity, then where is it? Who controls it? And what does it mean for America's future? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal could change the way you see the world. Everyone knows the promise of Silicon Valley. It is the land where garage startups became global empires. It is where engineers and dreamers wrote code that reshaped entire industries. It is the birthplace of the smartphone, the personal computer, the social network, the search engine, the electric car. For years, this one region convinced the world that innovation was an American monopoly, that the future would be designed in California and exported to the rest of the planet. But the truth is that the future has already escaped those borders. The new wave of technology is not just about apps or websites. It is about energy, minerals, artificial intelligence, and the hardware that will decide who has power and who does not. And here is the twist. The epicenter of this revolution is no longer Silicon Valley. Consider the promise of electric cars. For Americans, they represented not just a cleaner planet, but independence from oil wars and the hope of a new industrial boom. Companies like Tesla became symbols of that promise. Yet when you peel back the surface, the story is not as simple as it seems. Electric cars need batteries, and batteries need minerals, and those minerals are controlled by nations far away from California. The United States may design the cars, but the lifeblood of the technology, the very cells that make them run, come from China, Korea, and beyond. The promise was independence, but the reality is dependence. And here is the turn that makes this story explosive. The more America pushes for electric vehicles, the deeper it falls into the grip of foreign supply chains. Now let us look at artificial intelligence. Everyone in Silicon Valley wants you to believe that AI is their creation, their next monopoly. But the real race is happening in supercomputers that train these models, machines so powerful that they consume entire warehouses of energy. China has already built systems capable of rivaling America's best, and while Washington debates, Beijing builds. The story the tech companies sell is one of limitless innovation, but the contradiction is clear. Silicon Valley provides the software, but the hardware and energy that sustain it are increasingly under foreign influence. And here comes the suspense. What happens when the intelligence of the future is trained not on American soil, but on servers powered and controlled by America's rivals? The consequences are vast. Economically, it means that jobs once promised to return to America may vanish overseas. Geopolitically, it means that the balance of power shifts toward those who control the raw materials and infrastructure of tomorrow's industries. Socially, it means that while Americans believe they are buying freedom through clean technology and artificial intelligence, they may in fact be financing their competitors. This is the contradiction, the hidden crisis behind the glowing promises of Silicon Valley. The Valley gave the world dreams, but others are building the machines to turn those dreams into reality. But here's the real twist, the part most people never see. While attention is locked on California, other centers of innovation are rising in silence. In China, entire cities have been turned into hubs of battery production, AI development, and renewable energy. In South Korea, companies are racing to build next-generation batteries that could replace lithium with sodium, threatening to collapse an industry America barely controls. In the deserts of Africa and South America, nations once overlooked are now courted like kings because their soil holds the cobalt and lithium that power the future. And even within the United States, a new Silicon Valley is forming not in California, but in Texas, where Elon Musk and others are building factories and AI labs that look less like startups and more like industrial fortresses. The suspense deepens, when you ask what this all means for America's future. If Silicon Valley is no longer the undisputed leader, then America's advantage may rest on fragile foundations. The lie was that innovation alone guaranteed dominance. The truth is that dominance now depends on resources, geopolitics, and the willingness to invest in scale. And the consequences of ignoring this reality could be devastating. Imagine an America that designs the next great invention, but has to beg for the materials to build it. Imagine an America that trains its brightest minds to program algorithms, but lacks the machines to power them. Imagine an America that dreams of independence, but finds itself trapped in a new web of dependence. But here is the part that will surprise you. This crisis is not inevitable. In fact, hidden inside the challenge is the opportunity of a century. America can still build, can still innovate, can still lead, but only if it wakes up to the truth. Silicon Valley alone cannot save the nation. The new centers of innovation must be embraced, from AI labs to energy storage factories, from new mining strategies to alternative technologies like sodium batteries or nuclear microreactors. The story more explosive than Silicon Valley is not just about who invents the next gadget, but about who secures the foundation of the future. And now we reach the revelation, the moment that ties everything together. For decades, the world believed that Silicon Valley was the engine of progress, but the real engine is shifting, and it is powered by minerals, machines, and geopolitics. Those who control them will write the rules of the 21st century. America can still be that power, but not if it clings to the myth that innovation alone is enough. The question is not whether Silicon Valley will survive, but whether America will rise to the challenge of this new global race. And if it does not, the title of leader may belong to someone else. So let us bring it full circle. If you love tech secrets, the biggest secret of all is that the future is no longer guaranteed to come from California. It may come from Shanghai, from Seoul, from Santiago, or even from Austin. The race is open, the stakes are higher than ever, and the outcome will define not just technology, but power itself. America's future depends on understanding that this is more explosive than anything Silicon Valley ever dreamed of. The only question is whether the nation will act before it is too late. And that is where we leave you tonight. The future is still being written, and the pen is in the hands of those who see beyond the myth. Will America wake up to the challenge, or will it let others take the crown? That answer will shape not just the next decade, but the entire century. Stay tuned, because in our next story, we will uncover the next battle in this global war for technology, a battle that may decide who really controls the power of tomorrow.